Memory of the Holocaust is fading across Europe, while anti-Semitism has a solid foothold, according to a poll conducted for CNN in September 2018. More than 40% of the people CNN polled believe anti-Semitism is a growing problem in their countries. This includes 55% of Germans and almost half of French respondents, while more than a quarter of Europeans polled think Jewish people have too much influence over finance and business across the world. During World War II, an estimated 6 million Jews were killed in the Holocaust. But more than a third of Europeans we polled have never heard of the Holocaust or know just a little about it. The numbers are even higher when you focus on the younger generation. In Poland, the location of Auschwitz, almost a third of people in that age bracket know nothing or just a little about the Holocaust. 16% of those Europeans polled thought Jews made up more than 20% of the world's population. The real figure is less than 1%. Nearly a third of respondents believe that Jewish people used the Holocaust to advance their position or to achieve certain goals, including 50% of Polish respondents. But prejudicial attitudes aren't just directed at the Jewish community. Immigrants were also viewed unfavorably by 36% of respondents, and 37% harbored negative views of Muslims. Polling agency Comres interviewed 7,092 adults online in 7 countries between September 7th and 20th, 2018. Data was weighed to be representative of each country based on age, gender, and region.
Despite the rise of the far right in France, there is agreement that the new anti-Semitism people talk about is largely driven by radical Islam. Those killings in Toulouse and that Brussels attack both involved Muslim extremists. Yossi Gal is Israel's ambassador to France.
It is those extremists that guise this new anti-Semitism, this anti-Israel. But this anti-Zionism, anti-Israel is the new anti-Semitism here.
Anti-Israeli, pro-Palestinian feelings are strong among French Muslims. The majority come from North African countries like Algeria and Morocco. Muslims account for as much as 10% of the French population. Those demonstrations were to show support for our Palestinian brothers, he says, because of the bombs and because they are being killed. But according to published reports, it is estimated that only a small percentage of France's estimated 6.5 million Muslims harbor extremist views. And the people we spoke to in this predominantly Muslim area of Paris said there is a difference between being critical of Israel's actions and being anti-Semitic.
Sarcelles has always been defined by peaceful coexistence between Jews and Muslims. So what happened here shocked both communities.
Sarcelles' mayor, François Peponi, has been very outspoken against the violence. It's a catastrophe for this country, he says. If Jews leave, it's a sign of the Republic's failure. We have to fight this. In his role as peacemaker, Marek Halter delivered a letter to the vice president of Sarcelles Synagogue from the Muslim Association here, offering solidarity and support, condemning the violence.
He is saying, it's very good, but how many are there? The good people. So he is waiting for the big demonstration of the thousands and thousands of Muslims in the street to show that they are against the extremists.
So you're prepared to wait it out, to stay?
I'll see. For now, I think wait and see. Wait and see, because it's not easy to leave. It's very brave to leave.
But 4 days after we met with the Maloul family, they went ahead with their plan to leave France for good.
I'm very happy to leave. No, I'm not sad, but There is something in my heart. Yes, it's difficult.
Meta Bento believes that these days anti-Semitism comes predominantly from Muslims. But she's trying to maintain a sense of idealism and friendship with Nidal El Jabri.
Hi. I had a feet.
Monsieur?
Yeah.
El Jabri, a Palestinian whose family hails from Hebron on the West Bank, was instrumental in organising a peace ring around the synagogue following last year's attack.
It's all about the kids for me, and it's always been about the kids for me. We want to make this society safe for them. I keep saying that the Jewish school here in Copenhagen is one of the biggest examples of how humanity has failed in this country. That you have to have armed forces, you have barbed wire around the school, and you have cameras all over. When that is the situation, adults need to sit down and really think about what it is that this country is doing to its children.
Meta Bento could not bear to be in Denmark on the anniversary. She took her daughter to Israel, to which she's increasingly drawn.
My children's future is not in Denmark. No, it's not. If they want to live a Jewish life, it's not in Denmark. There's no. My future for the time being is in Denmark, and then we'll see.
Historically in Europe, anti-Semitism has come from the right wing, but most Jewish leaders believe the greatest threat now emanates from the continent's growing Muslim population. This is a gathering of the extreme Islamist political party Hizb ut-Tahrir last year, not long after the Copenhagen attacks. Hizb ut-Tahrir wants a worldwide caliphate. It's banned in several European countries, but not in Denmark. After a machete attack on a Jewish teacher last year in the southern French port of Marseille, the local rabbi urged his community not to go out in public wearing Jewish symbols such as the kippah. He was quickly criticised for what was called his defeatist attitude. But here in Scandinavia, such discretion has become essential. Across the bridge to Malmö, whose large Muslim population has expanded drastically during Sweden's short-lived open-door refugee policy. At the Jewish kindergarten, they're preparing traditional Sabbath bread. The numbers of children attending have dropped sharply since the Copenhagen attacks. We weren't allowed to show their faces for security reasons. Nima Gholam Alipour's parents fled from Iran in 1988 to avoid his brother being conscripted as a child soldier. He belongs to the right-wing Sweden Democrat Party and fears anti-Semitism will increase as a result of the country's open-door policy.
My worries is that if you see the infrastructure among some migrants here in Sweden, if you see the mosques, what they are saying, what kind of language they're using, and if you see the language that today exists, the migrants that are coming, they are coming to a society where anti-Semitism is normal among some migrants, and it will strengthen.
We hope that the influx of immigrants here, of refugees, immigrants, won't increase the tensions, and we try to work together with the city council and with other organizations, immigrant organizations, to, bring down the tension.
Amen. Amen.
Jewish communities believe that if these children are to have a future, newcomers must leave behind the conflicts of the Middle East and accept the European aspirations of tolerance and peaceful coexistence.
down the protest route. But this time, there wasn't just one attacker, there were thieves armed with large knives.
We saw people running.
Like a dream. On Saturday night, full of potential victims.
So far.
Were on the scene within minutes. Tending to the injured.